Greetings! I am Herbert Erpaderp, and today I'm going to quickly test some Humbrol products, namely Matte Coat, Maskol and Decal Fix. A scrap Bismarck hull shall be our test bed. As always, start with priming. I'm going to attempt some weathering techniques that I've heard about. I start by applying a thin layer of matte coat and then adding rust-coloured weathering pigments. I have MIG pigments, so that's what I used. I would like to give the Humbrol ones a try at some point though. I could have achieved a nicer finish if I wasn't so rushed with the pigments. Not all of them were secure. I believe this was due to not using enough matte coat. As this is just a test, I didn't really care too much. Now to try the Maskol. It is a liquid masking product as the name implies. I tried applying it using a sponge, both ends for brush, and a toothpick. Again, I could have been neater. The object here is to mask off the areas where rust will be visible later. Once the Maskol was dry, I painted over it with some acrylic watercolour ivory, figuring a light colour would show the effect better on camera. I then decided to add more Maskol and paint, just because I could really. I didn't bother recording myself painting the blue, it's just a bit more model colour acrylic. This bit is kind of fun. Peel the Maskol off. You might need to use some tweezers to grip it. The bottle suggests embedding some paper in the wet Maskol as a kind of handle. That's not a bad idea. For the smaller, harder to grip bits, I used some blue tack to remove the Maskol. It can be a little tricky, and I can see how it might damage the acrylic coats, but you're just as likely to cause damage trying to get the tiny ones with tweezers anyway. Here's my result. You can see some streaking caused by pigment not being entirely secure. I then gave it a bit of a brush down with an old toothbrush just to get rid of any debris. Now to attempt to create some streaks. For this to work, the bottom layers must be alcohol-based paints, while the top must be acrylic. The method is to use a brush with some alcohol-based thinner to reactivate the dried rust layer, and drag the brush down over the acrylic layer. Be careful as the thinner will damage the acrylic paint as well. As you can see in some spots, I messed it up a bit, but it does look pretty effective. I could definitely use some practice at this. And finally, Decal Fix. I usually just use water for decals, but I saw a video using this and it looked pretty good, so I had to try it. I placed a tiny amount of Decal Fix on the bottom of a shot glass to soak some old 40k decals, brushed some onto the model, applied the decal and removed the excess liquid with a paper towel. Pretty standard decal application technique. I wanted to see how well the decals would conform to the recessed lines on the model, thus my choice in decal locations. As you can see, it was quite successful on the decking, and not quite so much on the chain, which is about as much as I expected. I'm very happy with the result. The decal on the side of the hull turned out great as well. In conclusion, I am quite happy with these products. To be fair, I didn't really use the matte coat as a matte varnish at all. I mostly tested the Maskol and Decal Fix. Both are excellent, and I will have no reluctance in trying other Humbrol products in future. I think with the Maskol I would do well to apply it a bit thicker. It's going to be really good for plain canopies and hard edge camo schemes. I'm not sure how well this chipping technique will work for tiny 15mm scale models, but it seems great for larger scales, and I'll be practicing it a lot more. The Decal Fix, well, I don't really have a lot to say about it. It does what it says on the tin, bottle, and it does it well. It'll be really handy when I get to models with rough surfaces like German tanks with Zimmerit that need decals. I hope this demonstration/review has been helpful. Click like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and follow me on Twitter for, Twitter things. The link's below. I am Herbert Erpaderp. Farewell.